Alright guys, back to grammar class. Yesterday we took a look at comparative and superlative adjectives. Today we're going to look at comparative and superlative adverbs. Now before we went to remote learning, we did talk about adverbs. So who can refresh my memory and tell me what an adverb is again? I'll go ahead and play this fun video that we watched prior to remote learning and see if that refreshes your memory as well.
Listen up, players and cheerleaders. I'm a coach, the boss, Big G. I'll tell you how, when, where, to what, except and under what condition you will follow my direction. Are we clear?
Hardly, sir.
Wrong adverb. 4 push-ups.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Are we clear?
Very.
Right then. Listen up. Here we go. Love verbs do what I say. Here's why we practice every day. You're gonna run, you're gonna jump, defend, and score, but I'll describe how you do it more. You're gonna run rapidly. You're gonna jump high and sky. You will defend tenaciously. And you will score triumphantly. I love adverbs, do what I say. Here's why we practice every day. To run rapidly and jump high isn't enough. I'm here to tell you as an adverb. Just come on. You're gonna run astoundingly rapidly. You're gonna jump ridiculously high. You will defend remarkably tenaciously. And score incredibly triumphantly. Adverbs, adverbs, do you qualify? Adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you qualify? Adverbs, adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you qualify? Alright, line up for qualification drills. You wanna be adverbs? Let's see what you got. Huddle up, adjectives, here's the play. It's the one we just practiced. I know you're tough, you're smelly and sweaty, but I'm here to say how much. You're super strong. You're ferociously tough.
You're a real tough stuff.
You're disgustingly sweaty.
We're all game
And you're downright smelly. Adverbs, adverbs, do you modify? Adverbs, adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you modify? Adverbs, adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you qualify? Everyone's gonna do it how, when, where, to what extent, and under what condition I say. 'Cause I'm a big macaroni. How are we gonna play this game?
Quickly, passionately.
Yes, when are we gonna celebrate?
Never, not ever again.
No, give me 4 sit-ups.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now when are we gonna celebrate?
Today, tonight, tomorrow, and all.
Yes, where are we gonna play this game?
Here, there, wherever there's a field.
And to what extent are we gonna be proud?
Hardly, barely, not.
No, give me 4 push-ups. Now to what extent are we gonna be proud?
Totally, completely, absolutely.
Yes, under what condition will we win victory?
If you try, we believe and work as a team.
Just one more thing, look me in the eye, and do you qualify?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Do you modify? Do you qualify? Adverbs, adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you modify? Adverbs, adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you qualify? Adverbs, adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you modify? Adverbs, adverbs, adverbs are my favorite words. Adverbs, adverbs, do you qualify? Do you qualify? Do you modify?
Alright guys, so do we remember what adverbs are? Awesome. They are words that describe other adjectives, other verbs, or even other adverbs. Specifically, they tell when, for example, after, where, for example, inside, how, for example, quickly, and how often, for example, always. Now, we've discussed this in the past, so let's move on to adverbs that compare. We have comparative adverbs, which compare two things, and there's different ways that we can change the adverbs. Adverbs that do not end in ly will follow the same rules from yesterday, adding er. But adverbs that do end in ly, we'll focus today on adding the word more in front of it. So for example, he could multiply numbers more quickly than his younger brother. How many things are we comparing here? That's right, 2. We're comparing the younger brother with the older brother. And quickly is an adverb that ends in ly. So instead of adding er, we are going to add the word more in front of it. Superlative adverbs. Well, they're the adverbs that compare more than 2 things. Now, most adverbs that do not end in ly will just follow the same rule as yesterday, adding est. But adverbs that do end in ly will use the word most. Let's take a look at this example. Ashley answered the trivia question most completely of all the contestants. The adverb is completely, so it ends in ly. And we're adding most because we're comparing Ashley to many trivia contestants. Let's continue to take a look at some examples. Now this worksheet is in your remote learning packet and has some examples on it. So we're just going to go ahead and go over them, and then you guys will take a look at the worksheet and do it yourself. But first I want to fix this so I can get my example on there. Perfect, here we go. Let's take a look at late. We change late to later when we're comparing 2 actions, and late to latest when comparing 3 actions. For the adverb hard, we change hard to harder for comparing 2, and hard to hardest when comparing 3. And finally, we change fast to faster when comparing 2 actions, and fast to fastest when comparing 3. Let's take a look at these examples here. He ran fast. How come I didn't change fast? Oh, that's right, because I'm just describing he, which is one thing. She ran faster than he did. Why am I changing fast to faster? Oh, that's right, because I'm comparing the girl she to the boy he. I ran the fastest of anyone in the race. Why did I change fast to fastest? Oh, that's right, because I'm comparing I in the sentence to all of the other racers, more than 2. Let's take a look at the examples at the bottom. Sue arrived at the meeting blank than Joe. So I'm comparing, how many things am I comparing? Oh, 2, Sue and Joe. So late becomes later. I arrived at the meeting the blank of them all. So I'm comparing I in the sentence to all other people. That sounds like a lot of people, so I'm going to change late to latest. I hope you guys are laughing at my sloppy handwriting because I want to laugh. The bird flew blank than the butterfly. Okay, so I'm comparing the bird and the butterfly. That's only 2 things. So I'm going to change high to higher. The geese flew the blank of the migrating flocks. So I'm comparing geese to all of the other flocks of birds. That sounds like a lot of birds, so definitely more than 2 things, right guys? So high in this sense becomes highest. So these kind of follow the same rules that we talked about yesterday. But let's take a look at an example with an adverb ending in ly. The cheetah ran blank than the elephant. And look, Miss Pipitone has a typing example, typing error. There we go. And here we go. All right, the cheetah ran blank than the elephant. So I'm comparing 2 things. So am I going to say quicklier? No, I'm going to say more quickly because this adverb ends in ly, and I'm comparing 2 things. There we go. So go ahead and take a look at the next worksheet, guys. They did give you how the adverbs are changed when comparing two things and when comparing more than two things. Use this chart here to help you answer the 4 questions on page 105. Then when you turn the page in your remote learning packet, it's going to be page 111. Go ahead and try the same thing. Right? Write the adjective or adverb to complete each sentence. Make sure you're changing it with the correct suffix or by adding more or most. All right, guys, don't forget, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me on Google Classroom.